Now for our Common Ground segment tonight, the border crisis and immigration reform. Joining us, Texas Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar and Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz. Bipartisan, bicameral Common Ground tonight. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on. The issue of immigration, obviously front and center. You have the DHS Secretary facing impeachment in the House, Congressman. And Senator, there's a real question about what can get done in a bipartisan way. First to you, Senator Cruz. Is there hope here?
Well, look, on immigration and border security, I don't know. The White House, I think, is very dug in. But what there is hope on is actually something that Henry and I worked on together in a big victory that we just had in Congress, which is legislation that he and I did together that focuses on trade across the border, legal trade, so not illegal immigration, but legal trade and commerce going across the border. And in particular, 4 new bridge projects on our southern border going across the Rio Grande Bridge, 2 in Laredo, 1 in Brownsville, 1 in Eagle Pass. All 4 of those bridge projects were delayed with bureaucratic red tape coming from the Biden administration, and it didn't make any sense. Henry and I worked hand in hand. We brought together Democrats, we brought together Republicans, and in December of last year, we passed my legislation that expedites the building of those 4 bridges, moves forward. That is going to have a massive impact on jobs and opportunity in the state of Texas.
And, Congressman, that's a bipartisan success, no doubt about it. But there are other things that have to get done on this issue, specifically asylum policies, border security. It's very complicated. You've been on here before talking about it. Can you work in a bipartisan way to get something done?
Absolutely. I think bipartisan is the only way to get the job done. And first of all, before I get on immigration, I want to thank the senator for the work he did, because we're able to do something. And it's very significant because in the last year, we had more than $863 billion of trade between the U.S. and Mexico. With this, we're going to allow more of the legitimate trade and tourism. Now, on the immigration, yes, do we need to make some changes on the asylum? And there's a lot of people that are able to come in, wait 4, 5, 6 years, and then get rejected. 87% of them are going to be rejected at the end of 4 or 5 years in the future. So why are we allowing so many people in where it's a false promise they're not going to be able to stay at the end of the 4 or 5 years when they go in front of an immigration judge?
Yeah, what about those asylum rules for DHS? They have this now, a credible fear standard, Senator. An individual will be found to have a credible fear if he or she has a well-founded fear of persecution or harm on account of race, religion, nationality, a particular social group, or political opinion if returned. You know, it doesn't seem like the 80% plus that are getting released into the country are asylum eligible.
Well, they're not, and the administration knows they're not. And what's infuriating, the reason why Alejandro Mayorkas is being impeached right now in the House is because what the Biden administration is doing is they're defying federal law. The number one question, if you want to secure the border, the way to do it is policy. One question determines everything. What do you do when you apprehend someone here illegally? And if the answer is you put them on a plane and you fly them back home, the numbers plummet. If, on the other hand, the answer is what they are right now under Joe Biden, which is you let them go, you do catch and release, the numbers skyrocket. We just came through the month of December, the highest rate of illegal immigration in our nation's history. 9.6 million people have come illegally under Joe Biden, and it is because the Biden administration is ignoring federal law and is just releasing illegal immigrants. And particularly with the war in Israel, the risk of terrorism, the risk of our families being in danger from these open borders, I think is higher than it ever has been.
Congressman, you've been very critical of your own party, of the Biden administration, and one of the things that you're critical about is the magnet kind of sense of bringing people in to draw them here. California, a Democratic governor running that state, Gavin Newsom, is expanding health care coverage for low-income immigrants. More than 700,000 immigrants living illegally in California will gain access to free health care, an effort that will eventually cost the state about $3.1 billion per year. Governor Newsom making the commitment when the state had the largest budget surplus in its history history. But as the program kicks off now, Congressman, California faces a record $68 billion deficit. I guess I just wanted you to weigh in from your party perspective about if that is the kind of magnet that you're worried about.
Well, look, there are push factors and there's pull factors, and we're talking about the pull factors here. And look, if you say, hey, we're going to give you free insurance, of course, that becomes part of the pull factor. Or if they know that if you come to the border, ask for asylum, knowing that most of them are not going to be accepted at the end of 4, 5, 6 years, then it becomes a pull factor. And this pull factor is very powerful. I think what we need to do is make some changes in policy, but we also need to put monies in the right places in the homeland security. For example, ICE Air, like the senator said, we got to be able to send a message that if you're not supposed to be here, we're going to send you back to your country of origin. That message will really resonate.
Well, it is about singles and doubles. Congratulations on the bridge project as a bipartisan success, and hopefully there are more common ground elements to talk about in the future. Senator, Congressman, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you so much.